fresh out the oven.
What is cracking, everybody? It's Mega Pie Man here, and welcome to another look at my map. This time for CTF Coffeyville A14, the 14th version of CTF Coffeyville. 14 freaking versions of this map. Starting to go a little bit crazy. So, it took me a while to actually put out another look at my map video for a couple reasons. The main reason is that I'm trying to optimize this map, and I suck at optimization. So, it's taken me a while to get it all down. I'm trying to use things like area portals, hints, skips, setting the skybox up properly, so that the map will run the best that it can. I've done a little bit of this previously in some of the previous versions of the map, but this time I did like a big, huge optimization pass, which will hopefully make the map run better and not make it run worse. If we go to Material Wireframe 1 here, you can take a look at the things that's going on right now. You can see all the blue stuff or all of the props that are being rendered at all times. Still have issues where things you can't see, like I'm looking at a wall right now, and I'm still rendering all the stuff, not only behind that wall, but on the other side of the map. So I'm still having issues with that at some points, but as I walk around here, you'll see that the things will actually change. Some stuff will pop in, some stuff will go away, depending upon where I am at the map, depending upon how well it's actually optimized. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to be able to optimize a map so that anything that you can't actually see doesn't render, like in here. You see, you can't see behind that wall, and now that I walk in here, it's all gone, unless I, like, look up, and then it all comes right on back. But I don't understand optimization all that much, or all that well, so I'm having a lot of problems trying to actually optimize this map so that it doesn't run like crap. And it's getting there. Like this. Like, I'm looking at a wall. I can't see anything behind that wall. There's nothing back there. But as I turn around here, I can now see all of this and the whole thing, the whole other thing. There are some tricks I can do, such as prop fading, to make it so that you can only see a prop within a certain distance. And I might have to do that. Now, the standard TF2 maps, like, they don't do that. They're optimized well enough that they don't need prop fading, because the props don't render when you can't see them, because that map's actually optimized correctly. I mean, it was made by Valve. And maps that are actually optimized correctly don't need prop fading, because the prop doesn't render at all. Just because you're in that area, you can't see it, it doesn't render, due to how it's optimized with the optimization brushes. If you don't know anything about Source, you might have no idea what I'm talking about. If you do, you might. But I can't set the brushes up correctly because I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing right. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know why things sometimes work and things sometimes don't work. So I might have to employ prop fading. So instead of actually optimizing the map the right way, I'm going to have to try to optimize the map any way that I possibly can. Because, I mean, my computer runs this map fine. I don't have any issues with anything when it comes to this map actually functioning. But I have a computer that's maybe better than other people. People with a worse computer may have issues trying to actually get this map to run. So, enough about that. Let's turn the wireframe off. Wireframe 0. I have actually worked on redoing a little bit of layouts and doing some detailing, which is probably the wrong thing to do more detailing when I don't actually have a well-optimized map, but I've been doing it anyway. Something you may also notice is you can hear the sounds for the train are back. Somehow I had actually got rid of the sounds for the train at some point, but they're actually back now, so that they... Oh, you see, that's a little bit of prop fading that I've been testing out. And if I'm back here, it doesn't render. From up here, it does render. The problem with prop fading is that I need to get the distance perfect so that anytime you're supposed to see it, you can see it. Yeah, that needs worked on. But, yeah, the sound's back for the train. I did get a suggestion a couple times by a concerned viewer who was saying that something I could do for the train is actually add different cars to the back of the train. Now, I did change the train model back to that train model, the old school steam engine, which is what I want to try to use. I tried using this model before. It's a custom model. And, of course, that means adding another custom model to my map, which may make the map a larger file size, because people have to then download the custom model. But I want to use that because it fits the Western theme a lot more than this kind of a terrain over there. I tried using it before in the map, and I eventually switched back to that model for terrain because it wasn't packing into the map correctly, so when people played the map, they weren't downloading that particular model. I've learned a bit more about packing models and stuff into maps, so I'm going to try to get it to work again. I haven't changed that one for the red team. Right now I'm keeping red team as that terrain model until I can make sure that this terrain model will work correctly and actually pack into the map. The cool thing about this terrain model is, you might be able to see it here, is the wheels are actually spinning. When I actually set the map up correctly, the train's not just going to be standing out there. It'll actually like come around a curve and then go through here and then go out another curve, so you won't see it just sitting there. But you can see it's actually got animated wheel movement, which is actually really, really cool. So that's why I want to use that. A couple other things. I actually read it up here, and I changed the method that I was using when it came to... Well, that's a problem. That needs fixed. It's a big hole in the floor. But I changed the method that I was using when it came to making roofs. I also added this clock right here, which is a nice little thing. I changed the method in which it came to making roofs. Before, I was using function brushes and skyboxes to make these roofs, and there was some issues with that, because when a skybox goes over a brush, a normal brush, it cancels the face that skybox is touching. So if I go back, well, that's another issue right there. Never fully done. Just never fully done. No matter how much work you put into something, it's never fully done. It always needs more work. But I go back over here, I believe it was... Yes, this thing right there. In the previous version of the map, the top of that was invisible, so you couldn't see it, but as you can see, it's white now, because there's actually a roof up there. And the reason why it's white... Well, is that supposed to open? Yeah, it's supposed to open. Okay. I got thrown off. I thought that was that locker door. This doesn't open to blue team. That does open to blue team. Alright, I got thrown off a little bit. Anyway, yeah. Before, that white roof wasn't showing up because I had a skybox on it, and it was killing the face. But now I've changed how I do things to use displacements instead of using function details. Basically, I have this part here is a world brush, and then there's a thin roof over top, all of that, a thin flat roof, and then all of this up here, that's all either displacements or function details, because angles don't really work too well when it comes to displacements. So this roof right here, that is actually a displacement, and then I have in the middle, if I no-clip, it's still binded to N. If I no-clip up here, around like this area, I have a skybox face going all the way down here, so that it cuts it off right about there. You can't really see it all that much, but this here is a displacement, this is a displacement, that's a displacement. That's why it's not really rendering this top roof, because that doesn't exist, because there's no reason to, because you're not going to see it. So I just killed that displacement. If you go in here, you'll see that none of this stuff's here because I killed that displacement. So, and I think that's working really well. I did that over here for blue as well when I was setting up blue's warehouse-looking area. I gave them a unique roof. I wanted to make sure that both sides had unique-looking buildings so that it's very easy to tell one side from the other. And, you know, I have blue warehouse written here. I have red barn written there. This uses red textures. This uses sort of bluish textures. But just to make sure they're about as different as it possibly can, which is something you really want to do for CTF maps. I mean, 2Fort is a good example of this. You not only want the textures to be different, you want the geometry to be different, but you need to make sure that you keep the layout the same. People don't like it when you don't have some sort of symmetric layout when it comes to CTF maps or when it comes to King of the Hill maps, because it can make things confusing. A lot of people like to have things being symmetrical when it comes to those type of game types, but it doesn't need to look symmetrical. It needs to look unique while not necessarily being unique. So all of the rooms here are exactly the same. I mean, there's different props in them, but they are, yes, the same layout, but they just look different. So it makes it feel like you're in a different part of the map. Something else that I added, Proxys. the lovely model creator who created this particular luggage things here for my particular map. You see the luggage all over the place. Some of it's got fake gold in it, some of it doesn't. He actually made a new prop, which is this hat box. So I've got a couple of those sprinkled all around the map. I don't want to go too crazy with the luggage stuff because, I mean, there's a lot of it already in the map, but each piece of luggage is its own prop. So the more luggage that's there, the more props that have to be rendered. Unfortunately, there's no, like, pile of luggage as one prop, at least not yet. I don't know if he's going to make one of those. He might. I don't know. But he made this cool-looking hat box thing, so I decided to throw it in there. There's one with the open, and I believe there's another one with the closed. The big thing that I have done a lot of work on, particularly besides just changing the blue area, is I actually did a lot of work in here in the base. I did a lot of detail work, and I also did some optimization work, and I changed things up. As you saw on the other side, there is this garage door that I had put over here. And the reason I put the garage door here is because I wanted to open up this upper path a while ago, but I didn't want it so that people who were attacking the base could just stand here and shoot directly right into the spawn room. So I was thinking, oh, I'll put a garage door there. That way, unless someone's standing in that door, they can't shoot through there. But, of course, I didn't think about it, but a garage door doesn't really fit Western. And I think I can get away with using garage door for the spawn rooms. I haven't been able to figure out a different kind of door that I could possibly use because there's not really a lot of room here to have a door that kind of slides open from the middle. So something like Harvest. So I don't really have the room for that. So I might be able to get away with the garage doors there, but I don't want to have too many of them if I can avoid it. So I got rid of the garage door over here. I moved this over. I gave a little bit of cover here. I moved the portable over, and I put this lovely crate there with the Lazy Time Coffee logo on it, so that if someone's coming up this way, they're not going to be able to stand right here and get a direct view straight into the spawn. You'll have to move over a little bit, and the people coming out of spawn will get a little bit of cover. So it's very open over there. So if somebody is standing in here trying to spawn camp, they have to be in a very small, specific spot in order to try to spawn camp, which will make it more difficult to spawn camp because, I mean, the larger the area is that you have to worry about people, the easier it is to spawn camp. But there's only like one little specific spot that they have to stand in. So if you walk out of this door, you're going to automatically be looking like right over here, so you'll be able to see them right off the bat. Plus, if somebody is trying to spawn camp, you can just, go out this side and not have to worry about it. That's one of the main things that you need to keep in mind if you are setting up a spawn room. You need to make sure that your spawn room leads to at least 2 different places. So not just, you need to make sure that they lead to 2 very different places. Like you have a spawn room that leads to one side of a wall and the other side of the wall. Like this particular spawn room, it leads to over here and it leads to over here. So if somebody is spawn camping this door, they can't also be spawn camping this door at the exact same time. This is something that, speaking of Harvest doesn't do a good job of this. Harvest's doors are, even though they're on the opposite side of the spawn room, they still both lead to the same area. So the opposite team can just stay in one spot and spawn camp the whole thing. You get this a lot. This happens a lot on Nucleus for some reason. That's only because people use only one door in Nucleus, even though there's 3 doors in Nucleus and it's easy to get around. But that's one thing you need to keep in mind when you're setting spawn doors. A little bit of a tip there for anybody who may be mapping and watching this. But I did do a lot of loveliness when it came to trying to make this look nice. I still have some work to do. As you can see, the prop's messed up at the top right there. It's messed up out here too. But I put this glass in here. On some of the maps, these windows are actually from Well. And on Well, they're open. And I tried having them open, but on Well, they're open because you can actually go up to where they're at. And I think you can snipe out of them. If you can't snipe out of these particular windows on Well, you can at least, you see them a lot. And for where they are in my particular map, they're kind of up and out of the way, and the only reason why I really put them there is to give an excuse for light to be coming into this room, so I could put some lights coming out here to light the room up a bit more, and there actually be a reason for the lights, being there, because there's windows. So, for optimization purposes, I actually closed these off and put some glass in there. That way it'll block the view, because when it comes to windows, as you can see with these windows in here, because you can see through the window, it kind of messes with optimization, since they have to render not only what's in the room, but also what you can see outside of the window, which is an issue I'm having with these glass windows I have in here in the spawn room, but that's why I closed these off. And I also added a bunch of wooden beams all over the place to really get an idea of what I wanted to do when it came to making the levels actually look nice. And the wooden beams all over the place, I think it turned out pretty well. I didn't do a ton of work in here, but I started doing a little bit of beam work in here. I still need a little bit more beam work that I want to do. But if you go in here, you can see it does look very nice. It looks very pretty. And I was afraid that I wouldn't necessarily be able to make this look super great because I didn't have a lot of Western props, but because I have the beams, it fills in the space and makes it feel a little bit more realistic, I suppose, so that I don't need to pile a ton of props all over the place. I actually don't have many props in this base area. I got a couple props over here, got these props over there, and I got this props over here, and that's about it. I got these over here. And that's about all I think I need to add. I don't think I need to prop this area up anymore. I just may need to put some beams back over here. Something else you might be noticing is that I completely changed this area. Like I said earlier with the hat box. Let's go back to that hat box here quick. I showed off the hat box. It's got the fake gold inside of it. And some of these luggage do too. Proxis actually sent me, he rendered the texture he uses for the fake gold, and then he sent that to me as a material file. So in order to try to help tell the story of the map a little bit better than I was before, when I just had the pipes over here, I set up the gravel painting machine. So the story of the map is that, of course, the teams are taking gravel, or it looks more like coal or rocks, and then they're painting them to look like gold, and then they're using the coffee crates to take them over to the train station and to ship them out. And both teams are trying to do this. I mean, the blue team is using this hotel as a warehouse filled with the things, and the red team's using this hotel as a warehouse as well, but that's why there's a lot of luggage over here, because they're trying to keep it as disguised as a hotel. So it's the same kind of sort of TF2 idea of like the very thinly disguised things. I mean, it's obvious what's happening, but the disguise, they're still trying to make it look like it's something else. So I did a lot of texture work in here. I changed up the pathing a little bit, added some of this, changed up this pathing just a tad. Just a very, very little bit, and optimized in here. And it still plays basically exactly the same as it was before, but you get a more reason what's going on. Added this ramp here and the door just to try to make it look a little bit more interesting, so that they didn't have to figure out, oh, where are they getting the gravel from? Well, they're getting the gravel from this door, of course. They're not hauling the gravel all the way around these stairs. No, they're getting it from this particular door. And then it's going through the machine, and then it's going down here, and then they're pulling the crates out of here, and then they're taking them over to the train station. But there was a break in the container thing, so the gold's spilling out down here, which I think it works really cool. Because before I just had a staircase, just like over here. I had stairs here, and then I had stairs over here, and it didn't look like it made a bunch of sense for the stairs to be over here with how it was set up, since this path up top here, it's kind of a low path. So I think by having the spill out of the fake gold or gravel makes it look a lot better. And if I actually turn no clip off, you still can't climb this because it's very, very steep. So you can't climb with that. If you want to get on top there, you either have to go out around the outside or successfully rocket jump up on top of here. I also made it a little bit easier to move around. I added this grate so there's a bit more of a flat surface up top here instead of the angle it was always on before. You still can't build up here. I'm not going to allow you to build a sentry gun up here because I don't want the defending team to be able to get up here and build a sentry gun and then just own everybody. At least not yet. I might change that if there's enough of a cause for it, if it actually seems like it's to be a viable option, but from what I've been playing of my maps so far through the game day tests on tf2maps.net, people seem to think it's a lot of fun. Yeah, people they kind of like the map. A lot of people that apparently don't like CTF, but they seem to think that this is a pretty fun map. So I don't want to mess with the layout I have too much, and I'm hoping that by keeping this that you can't build up here won't spoil anything. So the very popular build spot is right over there, and they also try to build up down here a little bit. So I don't want to completely ruin this spot, because this spot basically exists just for dealing with sentries. The whole reason why I have this path that goes all the way back over here is just to deal with sentries. I'm thinking about changing things up a little bit. I've thought about moving the spawn room from there to putting it in this building. I haven't actually done that yet. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be a really smart idea, considering how I have everything laid up right now, because that's going to completely open up the path around over that way to the other team. And I want to make sure that it's hard to figure this out, but when it comes to CTF, a lot of times they put the flag behind the spawn point, because that means that if you're going to grab the flag, you will have to fight the enemy team. There's a very high chance that you'll actually have to fight somebody. And I'm thinking that if I move it over here, it will open this area up a little bit more, but it'll also make it so that you can easily grab the intel and get out of there without having to fight the enemy team. So I haven't decided if I really want to do that. I probably won't. Now that I've been thinking about it a lot more, and now that I just, said that about it, but I might play around with that. But I haven't actually moved this over to red yet. So red still needs to be redone. You can see I had these pipes over here, and it was just kind of stay on the pipes and shoot the stuff. So I think it looks a lot better, and it functions a lot better, and I really wish I could freaking learn to optimize a map. I can't optimize it. I'm doing the best I can here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Why is that wood? That should be glass. I don't know why I gave that a wood texture. Why do I give that a wood texture? They should all be glass up here. I don't know why I gave it wood textures. Weird. Very, very weird. I also am thinking of maybe changing this texture. I'm using the brass texture from Man Manor for this, because I thought it looks kind of cool. And it does look kind of cool, but it gives off weird reflections. So I might change it to just being wood. I want it to be metal because it's dealing with this machinery in here. But, I might change it. I've also had the thought of changing it from being a strictly Western map to being like a Western and more updated map. Because, TF2 takes place in the 60s. And the reason why I wanted to change it to maybe modernize it a little bit more is what I was thinking about it, because it would give me more options when it came to detailing. But then I actually did what I did in here, and I think I'm going to be okay. I think I'll be okay going with what I have. It's not completely Western, because you do have garage doors, so it's not completely to the time period, but I think it's going to be okay. And once I get this flipped over to the red side, I'm going to throw it through the next TF2 maps game day, and we'll see how things go. But for the future, the plans are to continue the optimization and try to finish optimization and then finish detailing, so I can finish the texturing and finish adding all the nice little details in there, and then try to optimize the details I have. Because I think the layout is, at this point, the layout is good. And once I move this over to there, I think I am actually going to release the map in beta. I think I'm finally going to have reached beta with Coffeyville. Because I don't have any more layout ideas at the moment, and the last game day that I ran this through, they didn't play it that much because, unfortunately, I forgot to pack the custom props and custom content, so there was stuff missing all over the place. But people seem to like the layout. And the thing that I've gotten for the past couple of game days is that people like the layout. They think it's a fun map. They don't like that it's Capture the Flag, but they think that it's a fun map. So I don't want to try to do anything that'll get rid of that. So I think I'll keep the layout and what it is, and the only future stuff I had to do is to work on optimization and to work on detailing. And because I'm working on optimization and working on detailing, I probably won't put another look at my map out until I get very far in that, or at least get it more finished, so that we've reached that part where I can basically officially say we're going into beta. I'm still questionable about the train. I don't know what to do about the train. Like I said before, I did get someone suggesting putting train cars behind it. I don't really think that'll be a good idea. Using the longer train of the steam locomotive, I think, will be the better plan. That way it's longer, but it's not too long. But, progress is being made. Maybe I'll be able to finish this map this year. I didn't finish it last year. But hopefully I'll get it done sometime soon. I'm having some issues trying to get motivation to finish this map because I've got ideas for other maps that I want to do, but I don't want to do them until I get this done. But I want to do them. I don't want to work on this because I want to work on other maps I have ideas for, but I don't want to work on other maps because I want to get this done. So it's an interesting combination of things of trying to just get something done. But that's about all I got for you guys today on this Look at My Map. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support that I've got so far for this Look at My Map series. It's been doing a lot better on my channel. I mean, it hasn't been doing amazing. It hasn't got like 100 million thousand views. But people are actually watching it, which I'm surprised. I didn't think anybody would, and people have actually been leaving comments and stuff, and so that's really cool. I definitely appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think about any of the changes between the last version and this version of the map. Let me know if you like the map, if you hate the map, and Mega Pie Man. I'll talk to you guys later.